We must not need to, we can win elections without criticizing, without trying to dehumanize a people. Why? Because we are all foreigners somewhere. We are foreigners somewhere. Either your father, your brother, your sister is in another country. This year, Hungarians that left this country are 9,000, just to the UK alone. There are foreigners there. So by the time we start to discriminate people within our country, if you discriminate somebody inside Nigeria, when a foreigner is living inside Nigeria and he leaves Nigeria, the person that can tell you about Nigerians is that foreigner. Because he is the mirror. He will say, I know Nigerians. Nigerians are like this, Nigerians are like that. 3 days ago, there is a Chinese restaurant in Nigeria that refuses to sell food to Nigerians inside Nigeria. That is, you can buy, take away and go, but you cannot sit down in the restaurant in our country. Something that can never happen in China. No Nigerian restaurant can operate like that in Nigeria. So some people became very angry and they said, no, we must close this restaurant. This restaurant was closed yesterday. Praise the Lord. So discrimination is not, nobody is a monopolist of discrimination, but we don't need it. Why? We are one people. We are one people. Now, this disease is hitting everybody, despite your country, despite the color of your skin, despite your position. Why? Because God can end this world in 1 second. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. This is the time that we must support ourselves. This is the time that we must have hope in the God that we serve. This is the time that we must humble ourselves and pray. 2 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 14. If my people who are called by my name. Thank you. Chapter 7 verse 14. 2 Chronicles. Praise the Lord. If my people who are called by my name humble themselves and seek my face and turn from their evil ways, then I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. We serve a God that can heal lands across the world. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. There's a song like that. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn from their evil way, I will hear from heaven. 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 I will hear and I'll heal their land. May the Lord that we serve heal the land of Hungary. Amen. May the Lord that we serve heal every land in the world. Amen. There shall be peace in this country because we live here. Amen. There shall be good health in this country because we live here. Amen. There shall be security in Hungary because we live here. Amen. There shall be love and non-discrimination in Hungary because we live here. Amen. In the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Do you know there is technology everywhere, but a Nigerian has just invented a vaccine to cure this virus called COVID. Who is this Nigerian? Professor Iwu. He was the chairman of INEC, but you know, by profession, he's a pharmacologist, right? They are now testing this medicine. Why? Because when Jesus was born, and they were asking, where did Jesus come from? Some people said Bethlehem. Some were saying, can any good thing come from Nigeria? Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. So let us wait what the result of that test will be. Praise Master Jesus. Hallelujah. Praise Master Jesus. Hallelujah. You know, when God asked Moses to tell Pharaoh, let my people go, he became very strong-headed
He refused to let the Israelites go. Then God started to show them signs with 10 plagues. That is 10 different types of sicknesses. 10. And most of these sicknesses were done with just the rod of Moses. This is a rod that Moses has been holding every day as a shepherd. But he did not know that in his hands it carries power. That is how it is with each and every one of us. Your mobile phone you carry in your hand. If the battery runs flat, you recharge. Why? You give it power. But there is a power in each and every one of us that many people don't even know what they carry. There's a power in your tongue. There is power in your dreams. There is power in what you say. There is power in your prayer, but many people don't know. Why? Because you are too far from reading the Word of God. By the time you start to read the Word of God continually, you now begin to communicate and to contact that power that you carry. Then you now start to manifest by reason of the belief in the Word that you read daily. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Sir, are you uncle to our brother in the middle or father?
Father.
Hallelujah. Amen. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Like father, like son. Yeah. Because I saw the face and I see resemblance. You are welcome, sir. Good to see you here. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. So what were the 10 plagues? First, the first plague was Exodus chapter 7, verse 14 to 24. We might not need to read it, but it was turning water into blood. God said, let my people go. Pharaoh refused. Okay, I will show you a sign. Every water in River Nile turned to blood, red. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. And that was what happened. That was sign number 1. Sign number 2, frogs. Exodus chapter 8, verse 1 to 4. Frogs started to fill the land. Do you understand when they say frogs fill a land? That is everywhere in this hall. Frog, everywhere. Jumping on your head, jumping on everybody's trouser, jumping, frogs everywhere. This one was not in a room, on the land. That shows the power of God. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Then there was lice. You know, the interesting thing is that the magicians of Egypt were also doing the same magic. God will do one, they will do another one. God will do one, they will do another one. But even when they were doing, they knew that there's a power that is above their powers. And that is why when Moses struck and the serpent came out, they also struck and serpents came out. But just one of Moses' serpents swallowed their own. Then there was the plague of lice. Lice. Everywhere, everybody had lice. And when they saw lice, even the magicians, they said, this is the hand of God. This is the finger of God. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Then, the fourth one was flies. Flies everywhere. Flies entering people's noses, flies entering mouths, flies everywhere on the food. Flies. Flies. Just imagine it. Like in this room now, let's say we have like 5 million flies. You cannot even sit down. Why? The power of God. Praise the Lord. The pestilence on all the livestock, all the animals became sick. The power of God. Signs. Then there was boils. Everybody started having boils on their head, boils on their bum, boils on their legs, boils under the sole of their feet, boils. We serve a wonderful God. Even on their tongues, boils. Inside their ear, tongues, boils. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Mira, people were having boils on their nose. Praise the Lord. Praise Master Jesus. Hallelujah. That is the power of God. Then thunderstorm, hail from heaven started to fall. Hail like stones started to fall from heaven. These are signs Why? God is saying, let my people go. Then there was another one, locusts everywhere. Locusts. On top of the keyboard, locusts. Everywhere, locusts. Jumping everywhere, locusts. Locusts, everywhere. Then there was darkness for 3 days. Darkness for 3 days. That is, you could not see beyond your nose. Everywhere, dark. The power of God. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Then the one that shook them was when God said that the firstborn of every Egyptian would die in one night. And before that, he said, put a sign on the door of every Israelite, so that when the angel of death is passing, it will pass over. That night, the son of every first Egyptian died. With COVID, nobody in this church shall have any virus.
Amen.
Why? Because we carry the mark of the Passover. We carry the mark of the Passover.
Amen.
I am not saying that you should not be careful. I'm not saying you should tempt God. But I am saying that because you carry a power that is above diseases, the virus will see you and it will say, this is not my candidate.
Amen.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Praise Master Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Now, this virus will not end the world because it is not among the signs of the end, according to the Bible. The Bible gave us the different signs that we shall see, and you will know that the end is coming now. Brothers and sisters, the end is very close. But it is not this virus that will end the world. Before April, this thing will come and go. Ebola came and left. Abacha came and he left. Now, this one has come, it will go.
Amen.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Praise Master Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Now, what are the signs of the end that the Bible talked about? So that you will know that this virus is not among them. So you should go on and start to celebrate that you have more days to spend on earth. But the thing is that those days, how you spend it matters a lot. Because the real one that is more than virus is coming. Judgment is very near. All these things we see around us, houses, this is my car, these are my vehicles, oh, this is my house, this is my company. Just one day, all vanity. Vanity. There are some people in the hospital now. They are very sick but very rich. Their prayer is, God, if you can take me from this hospital bed, I will serve you till I die. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
So as we worship God, we must not worship material things. They will all wash away. Last Wednesday we were here to do a service of songs for a Nigerian that just passed away. When this guy, I knew this guy about 20 years ago, but within this small Budapest, I've not seen him for the past 15 years. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
When he came to this country, I knew him very well. And let me tell you something I've not told many people. I was so close to him that I had one shoe. The color was ox blood with buckle. I gave him that shoe as a gift many years ago because we speak the same tribe. And he told me, bros, now you'll be the first person who will give me a gift for this country. That guy that we did the service of song on Wednesday. But when I was giving him that gift many years ago, if they had told him that we shall bury him in this country, he would not have believed. When I was printing the poster, I felt so bad. That so, this is the guy. Now we call to bury this guy for here. May that not happen to us again in the name of Jesus. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Now, that is life. Everything that he had gone in one day. When they broke into his house, They saw 26,000 foreign on the table. That money, when he kept it there, he did not know that they would use that money to fleet the room because of the smell that came out from his death. Because he died in the room, and for many weeks people did not know. So he was just there, locked himself in the room. He was just there and he died. So the smell was coming out, but he did not know that that 26,000 foreign that he was keeping on the table, we used to pay people to sanitize the room, to spray the room after his death. And don't we serve a wonderful God? Are you afraid of God? Don't you fear God? This virus will not kill you.
Amen.
Praise thy Lord.
Hallelujah.
So in whatever we do, all the hustles that we hustle, the pursuit for money, my best shoes, my best clothes, my best everything, all will go on a day that we don't expect. Are you ready to surrender your life to God? Because judgment is coming. Begin to surrender yourself. I surrender all. I surrender all to Thee, my blessed Savior. I Because Emmanuel lives, we shall not die.
Amen.
Let's take this song again. Emmanuel. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
May I respectfully ask that you sit down? What is the meaning of Emmanuel?
God with us.
God is with us. Now, what are the signs? If the virus cannot kill us, what are the signs of the end? Luke chapter 24. We are going to read everything. It's quite long, but I want us to see if you will see anything like virus or corona, something there. God promised us that He will not end this world a second time with a flood. Right?
Yeah.
Matthew 24.
Look.
Matthew, let's take Matthew 24. It's similar to Luke 21:11, but let's say Matthew 24. From verse 3. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
when he was sitting on the Mount of Olives, that is Jesus Christ, the disciples approached him privately and said, "Tell us, when will these things happen? And what is the sign of your coming and of the end of age?" Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
I want you to read with me because I will ask you a question. I will ask you 3 questions. I will ask you, maybe you are sitting on this side or you are sitting on this side. If you are not reading with me, I will know from your answer. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
So in case you are browsing your mobile phone or based on internet inside the church, by the time I point at you, everybody will know that you were not following me. Are you ready?
Yeah.
In case you are thinking of the hot jollof rice you are going to eat when you get home, and your mind is thinking of how you will buy Maggi or groundnut oil from that shop before you go, and your mind is not here, if I point you to answer my question, the world will know. Are you ready?
Yes.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Verse 4. Then Jesus replied to them, "Watch out that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Messiah,' and they will deceive many." Verse 6. You are going to hear of wars and rumors of war. See that you are not alarmed, because these things must take place, but the end is not come. That is, even if Iran is fighting with America, it is not a problem. It is not the signs of the end. Even if North Korea is fighting with Nigeria or with America, it is not the signs of the end. Even if Syria is fighting with Iran, it's not the signs of the end. All right? Verse 7. For nation will rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There also will be famines and earthquakes in various places. We have earthquakes everywhere, in most places now. In Mexico, many countries. Italy, Puerto Rico, earthquakes. We have nations rising against nations. We even have economic wars between America and China. But that is not the signs of the end. Even Nigeria has closed all its borders so that people don't bring in goods. Economic war. That is not the sign of the end. Verse 8. All of these events are beginning at the beginning of the birth pains. That is just introduction. But it's not the main thing. Then, verse 9. Then they will hand over and they will hand you over for persecution, and they will kill you. You will be hated by all nations because of my name. Many of Jesus' disciples they died in very mysterious ways. Painful death. But that was not a sign of the end. Verse 10. Then many will take offense, betray one another, and hate one another. Many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. See, look at this verse 11. Many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. Right?
Yeah.
This verse 11 is one verse I want you to put in your brain. When you see fake pastors doing fake miracles, asking for money, I don't condemn them. Do you know why? Because the Bible already told us that they are fake and that they will come. So because they are manifesting, because they are doing what they are doing, it is because the Bible is being fulfilled. If we don't have fake pastors doing fake miracles and collecting money, it means that the Bible was not fulfilled. But thank God, in our very before, we are seeing it happen. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. So when I see people condemn pastors, of course you talk, but judgment is coming from God. But it is because the Bible is being fulfilled. And that is why in this church we don't preach money. We don't preach money. I will not preach anything money. If you have money to give, like offering, give. It's for running of the church. It's not money. Because of the wealth people attach to Christianity, they lead many astray. Money. Why do they do that? Because they know that people have different problems. So they want to act like they are the solution providers. That is why people now call pastors daddy. But at home they call them by their first name, their father, their husband by their first name. Everywhere daddy, everywhere Gio, everywhere papa. Praise the Lord. They now serve the creature more than the creator. These are the signs. Verse 12. Because lawlessness will multiply. The love of many will grow cold. The love is already growing cold. And that is why somebody will have the virus, spit in his hands, and is using it to rub places so that others will touch it. Why? Because the heart of man is desperately wicked. And that is why you can eat with somebody, you can be very close to somebody, but what he will say behind you, you will be surprised. That is dagger. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
The heart of man is desperately wicked. The love grows cold. People can even be in the same church, but they don't have love. But it is the sign, or part of the signs of the end. Verse 13. But the one who endures to the end will be delivered. Whatever you are going through, it will come to an end.
Amen.
No matter the struggles, no condition is permanent. 14. This good news of the kingdom will be proclaimed in all the world as a testimony to all nations. And then the end will come. Verse 15. So when you see the abomination that causes desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel standing in the holy place, let the reader understand. Then those in Judea must flee to the mountains. A man on the housetop must not come down to get things out of his house. And the man in the field must not go back to get his clothes. Woe to pregnant women and nursing mothers in those days. Pray that your escape may not be in winter or on a Sabbath. For at that time there will be great tribulation, the kind that hasn't taken place from the beginning of the world until now and never will again. Verse 22. Unless those days were limited, no one will survive. But those days will be limited because of the elect. If anyone tells you that, look, here is the Messiah, or over there, do not believe. False messiahs and false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders to lead astray, if possible, even the elect. I was reading the confession of this Nigerian woman yesterday that had this funny hand that can go in and go out. You know, many pastors use her for miracle. And yesterday she confessed how they really used him, how much they give to her, how they really use her, how much they give to her in all the churches. She had a manager, personal manager,
Wow.
that was taken out to all these churches, Port Harcourt, Lagos, everywhere. The manager would collect and give her her own share. Praise the Lord. But she said that what that pained her most was when one of the pastors announced in church that he had given the woman 1 million naira to start business, but that the pastor did not give her the money. Praise the Lord. And now she's saying that she's now ready to come out and talk. You know, all of these things, fake miracles don't last. They don't last. There's not like fake miracle. Did you see anybody in the Bible that God, Jesus healed and the sickness came back?
No way.
Permanent control. It is not this mess they say shake 3 times before drinking, shake before drinking, drink money after. No, it's not. When Jesus performs miracle, the Bible will say suddenly or immediately. That is the God that we serve. Immediately his eyes opened. Immediately he started to walk. It is not medicine like drink 3 times a day, shake well before drinking. No. We serve a God that is the doctor of all doctors. Praise Master Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Now,
26.
20 what?
25.
25. Take note. I have told you in advance. COVID will not kill you.
Amen.
So if they tell you, look, it's in the wilderness, don't go out. Look, it's in the inner rooms, do not believe. There was a time I heard the story that Jesus' image appeared in one Catholic church along Akpakpaba Road, Benin City, and those State, Nigeria. That Jesus' image was there. Everybody was running to go and see Jesus. But remember what the Bible said. It said, verse 26, so if they tell you, look, it's in Benin City, don't go out. Look, it's in Budapest, don't go out. Jesus is in the Budapest. Jesus came outside inside. Not graphic image now during because of computer. They can do the cloud to be moving. You will see the face of Jesus moving. Oh, there's a cloud. Oh, come and see something. Jesus' image is moving in the cloud. The Bible is saying, do not believe it. It is for people that do not understand the word of God and they start to run up and down. All those who we call Kariwaka. Verse 27. For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes as far as the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. 28. Wherever the carcass is, there the vultures will gather. 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened. These are the signs. Hello? Hi. Watch this, listen to the signs, not coronavirus. Verse 29. Immediately after the tribulations of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not shed its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the celestial powers will be shaken. 30. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky. And then all the peoples of the earth will mourn. And they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. 31. He will send out his angels with a loud trumpet, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the sky to the other. Now, learn this parable from the fig tree. As soon as the branch becomes tender and sprouts leaves, you will know that summer is near. In the same way, when you see all these things, recognize that he is near at the door. At the door. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Tell somebody Jesus is at the door.
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 Verse 34. I assure you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have taken place. Not coronavirus. 35. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Now, concerning that day and hour, no man knows, neither the angels in heaven nor the Son, except the Father only. As the days of Noah were, so the coming of the Son of Man will be. 38. For in those days, before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day Noah boarded the ark. 39. They didn't know until the flood came and swept them all away. So this is the way the coming of the Son of Man will be. Then two men will be in the field. One will be taken away and one will be left. Father, I will not be left behind.
Amen.
41. Two women will be grinding at the mill. One will be taken and one will be left. No woman will be left here.
Amen.
Therefore be alert, since you don't know what day your Lord is coming. But know this. If the homeowner had known what time the thief was coming, he would have stayed alert and not let his house be broken into. This is why you also must be ready, because the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Who then is a faithful and sensible slave whom his master has put in charge of his household to give them food at the proper time? That slave whose masters find him working when he comes will be rewarded. Let us begin to do God's work until he will come. Because at the time and hour, nobody knows. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Let us stop there for now. Praise Master Jesus.
Hallelujah.
But I have good news for you. Hope. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. The book of Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. Isaiah 40, verse 31. You see how people started to run around because of coronavirus? Only a fool says in his heart there is no God. But those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
You have catarrh does not mean that you have coronavirus. Stop suspecting yourself. You just cough. You you now start to think about this kind of cough. This is dry. Is it dry cough or ordinary cough or is it corona cough? Stop suspecting yourself. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Coronavirus is not part of the signs of the end. You know, many times when we commit sin, we pray to God. He forgives us. God has forgotten the sin. But do you know what? The greatest problem is we ourselves. We start to think back about the sin again. Anything we are doing that is not going well, we say, oh, maybe it is that my sin of 4 years ago. God has forgiven you, but you have refused to forgive yourself. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Psalms chapter 121, verse 7 and 8. The book of Psalms, chapter 121, verse 7 and 8. After this, we are going to close with 30 prayer points. Are you ready? The Lord will protect you from all harm. Amen. He will protect your life. Amen. The Lord will protect your coming and going both now and forever. Amen. That is, coronavirus cannot hold you. Amen. 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 Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Praise Master Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Praise the King of glory.
Hallelujah.
Am I alone in church this morning? No. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Let us see the book of Exodus chapter 15 verse 26. I'm just reading some of all these verses to make you know that the Bible is watching us. The Bible is watching how we are reacting now to our environment. Praise the Lord. The Bible is watching, but there is the promise in the Bible. But remember, I did not say you should not abstain or you should not be careful, because some people are intentionally spreading it. If you have disinfectant, put in your tissue paper, use it to rub your even the postman came to deliver a letter in my house last week. The bell that he pressed, immediately he left, I went to disinfect the bell. So that in case another person rings it, or I ring it, or my wife is ringing it. Little things, the handle of the door, main entrance of the handle door. You know, we have to disinfect all of these things. But the good thing is that God watched over us. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Exodus 15:26. He said, if you will carefully obey the Lord your God, do what is right in his eyes, pay attention to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will not inflict any illness on you. I inflicted on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you. You know, when Paul was in the island, one serpent, small snake, just tied his hand. He shook it. The serpent fell into the fire. Then the people in the island were saying, this man must be a wicked man, for a serpent to just, around his hand. So they were expecting that he would die. They were waiting. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The poison should have killed him 20 minutes. But he did not die. But that serpent, if it had attacked anybody apart from him, that person would have died. So why did that serpent not kill Paul? It is because Paul has been separated from the coronavirus of the serpent. Praise the Lord. That is how each and every one of us has been separated. Amen. Don't you know that sometimes you want to go out, your body has not carried you to move. You just have, it's not weakness, but your body has not carried you to move. By the time you decide to move, you find that you have just gone there at the right time. Then sometimes if you don't go at all, you don't find that you have prevented big tragedy. Why? Because God watches over us. Praise the Lord. Do you know sometimes you want to take a decision? You don't know what to say, but one thing will just flash through your mind. That is the idea. That is God speaking to you. But you do not pick it because you're not reading the Bible too much. So you are not connected in the spirit to know that this is God talking to you. By the time you are not faced with decision, you now do your common sense decision making, and the idea that you came up with fails. You now start to say, mind. I thought about it. Did it enter my mind? Did it enter my mind? Why did you not do the thing when it entered your mind? Because it was God speaking. The voice was not loud. Why was it not loud? Because you have not connected with the Spirit of God. The more you read the Word of God, the more that voice will become louder. That when you don't do what God is saying, you start to feel a burden in your heart. That is the God that you serve. Get connected. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Praise Master Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Before we pray, let us see also James 5:15. James 5:15. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. The prayer of faith will save the sick person. Amen. And the Lord will raise him up. And if he has committed sin, he will forgive him. Do you believe that?
Yes.
May I respectfully ask that we stand up while we hammer 30 prayer points. If you are the one that has not been praying today, I don't catch you. 30 prayer points. This will not be long, but I want you to connect with every prayer point now. If there is any sickness that is in your body, that doctors have failed, medicines have failed, as you connect your faith to this prayer point, you will return with a testimony. Amen. In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
But before we pray, let us see Psalms 34, verse 19. The book of Psalms 34, verse 19. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am pained for you. Heal me, O Lord, for my bones are dismayed. Psalms 34, verse 19. Many adversities come to the one who is righteous, but the Lord will deliver him from some of them. On this side, please read it.
Many adversities come to the one who is righteous, but the Lord delivers him from them all.
All. Did the Bible say all?
All.
Or some?
All.
On this side, please read it.
Many adversities come to the one who is righteous, but the Lord delivers him from them all.
Not some of them. So based on that God has delivered you from all of them, I want you to connect in faith that no coronavirus, no fear, no type of sickness can come near you. Whatever has formed a stronghold in your body in the name of sickness, it is dead because you are in church in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Let us pray. Are you ready?
Yes.
30 prayer points. Powers that want to terminate my life through sickness or disease, I am not your candidate. Return to sender in the name of Jesus. Amen. I nullify every long-term sickness and infirmity in my body in the name of Jesus. Amen. Any power on assignment to steal my health, receive frustration in the name of Jesus. By fire, by force, I am healed from every hair follicle on my head to the sole of my feet in the name of Jesus. I fire back every arrow of sickness flowing in my bloodstream in the name of Jesus. I reject sickness and this manipulation in my life in the name of Jesus. Any sickness or disease that want to bring separation between me and and God, I cast you out in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
You sickness, whatever you are called, you sickness, whatever you are called, you have no power over my life. Therefore, I say be destroyed in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Any power that says no drugs or medication shall restore my health, dry up by fire.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Lord, deliver me from any kind of strange disease or infection. In the name of Jesus. My health, hear the word of the Lord, be restored back now. In the name of Jesus. I challenge my body with the healing fire of God. In the name of Jesus. Ancestral powers appearing in my dream to arrest my health. Your time is up. Die in the name of Jesus. I challenge anything moving around my body as I drink the blood of Jesus. 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 Any power swallowing my health, vomit them now in the name of Jesus. That power of spiritual sickness, receive termination in the name of Jesus. Every wicked device against my health, receive fire in the name of Jesus. Every habitation of the wicked around me, come out and die in the name of Jesus. My body rejects any strange sickness or diseases, whether coronavirus or whatever. My body rejects them now in the name of Jesus. Wherever my father has not planted, whatever my father has not planted in my body, be rooted out by the blood of Jesus. Oh Lord, I retrieve my healing which the enemy is using to punish me. In the name of Jesus. Any evil power that wants to put sickness in my body, dry up now and wither. In the name of Jesus. I am not a candidate of sickness. In the name of Jesus. You sickness, infirmity in my body, I command you to live my life alone. In the name of Jesus. Power of God, uproot generational sickness from my life. In the name of Jesus. Arrows of sickness originating from idolatry, lose your hold. Lose your hold. In the name of Jesus. Now that power of my father's house, repeating sicknesses and afflictions in my life, die in the name of Jesus. Every cycle of sickness and affliction of the evil powers of in my father's house, break in the name of Jesus. Any power assigned to be troubling my health, be destroyed in the name of Jesus. I shall not use my mouth to speak sickness into my life. I speak life unto my life. And I speak destruction unto all my enemies that are coming in the form of sickness. In the mighty name of Jesus. Father, we worship you, Lord. Take honor and adoration. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you for answer to prayer. This prayer that we have prayed, we seal with the blood of Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Father.
In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Let us share the grace of fellowship.
The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the sweet fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. Surely, God's goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives, and we shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen.
Have a corona-free week. Praise the Lord.